Never make fun of or judge the story behind someone's messy hair, especially when it comes to survivors of narcissistic abuse. That tangled, unkempt look isn't just about a bad hair day or skipping a comb. It often symbolizes a deeper battle with emotional exhaustion and stress. For victims, every strand out of place can echo the chaos within, such as the relentless toll of navigating toxic control, manipulation, and a struggle to reclaim their identity. Today we'll delve into 10 compelling reasons why narcissistic abuse survivors often have messy hair. Are you ready for number 1? Low prioritization. We all have different priorities, right? But have you heard that self-care should be a top priority? However, if you're stuck in survival mode with a narcissist, self-care, like brushing your hair, can feel like a luxury you just can't afford. Your brain is too focused on staying safe and avoiding conflict to prioritize hair care. As Dr. Gabor Mate says, when people are in survival mode, they shut down non-essential functions. Constant gaslighting and belittling can drain your energy and sense of worth, making even small acts of self-care feel pointless. Trauma expert Bessel van der Kolk explains in The Body Keeps the Score that trauma often disconnects people from their basic needs, and messy hair can be a quiet reflection of the battles happening beneath the surface. Let's talk about number 2, loss of routine. Living with a narcissist is like being stuck in a constant storm because routines crumble under the weight of their chaos. You might plan to take care of your hair, but their unpredictable moods or manipulative fights disrupt everything. Dr. Ramani Durvasula explains that narcissists thrive on keeping others off balance, making it nearly impossible to maintain habits. Plus, the emotional exhaustion leaves you without the mental energy to follow through. Trauma expert Pete Walker notes in Complex PTSD that trauma disrupts natural rhythms, leaving even small tasks like hair care feeling overwhelming. It's not laziness, it's survival mode taking over. Let's move on to number 3. Identity confusion. Narcissistic abuse can make you feel so disconnected that you don't even recognize yourself in the mirror. Simple things like brushing your hair can feel pointless because your sense of self has been broken down. Dr. Shannon Thomas, in Healing from Hidden Abuse, explains that narcissists tear apart your identity to control you. It leaves you doubting your worth and constantly focused on meeting their unpredictable demands or avoiding their anger. Over time, you lose touch with yourself, and self-care starts to feel like something you can't manage. Now, let's continue to number 4. Financial abuse. Narcissists often use money to control you, making it hard to afford hair care products. Dr. Ramani Durvasula says this control forces you to depend on them and lose independence. Even if you save some money, you might avoid spending it because you're scared of their reaction. They might call you selfish or irresponsible. Trauma expert Beverly Engel explains that abusers make you feel like you don't deserve self-care. As a result, taking care of your hair feels financially and emotionally impossible. You can't miss number 5. Isolation. Narcissists want you to become their prisoner by isolating you from friends and family, or making you feel so unworthy that you stop reaching out. Over time, you stop bothering to fix your hair because no one sees you anyway. Dr. Craig Malkin, in Rethinking Narcissism, explains that narcissists isolate others to make them feel dependent and powerless, which drains your motivation for self-care. Emotional isolation can make you feel like you don't matter, even around people. As Dr. Judith Herman notes in Trauma and Recovery, isolation can make you feel like you're disappearing, leaving no energy for things like hair care. Are you still up for number 6? Dissociation. Dissociation happens when your mind disconnects from your body as a way to cope with stress, especially from being abused by a narcissist. It's as if your mind says, "I can't deal with this right now," and disconnects from your body to create a sense of emotional distance. This survival mechanism can make you feel numb, detached, or like you're watching your life happen from the outside. Everyday tasks are easily neglected, not because you're lazy or careless, but because you're not fully present in the moment. Psychologist Dr. Christine Langley-Obaugh explains, dissociation is a survival mechanism, but it can affect our daily well-being. She highlights how this coping strategy, while protective, can disrupt even the simplest aspects of self-care and routine. Let's keep it moving to number 7. Hair pulling, trichotillomania. Hair pulling, known as trichotillomania, is a behavior often seen in people who have endured trauma, including narcissistic abuse. When stress and anxiety become overwhelming, the body can find unusual ways to cope, and pulling hair can become an outlet for releasing built-up tension. It's an unconscious response to emotional pain. It offers a brief sense of relief, even if the reason behind it isn't clear. Many don't even realize they're doing it until they notice thinning patches, see strands of hair on their hands, or feel soreness on their scalp. Psychologist Dr. Marcia Slatkin explains that hair pulling is deeply connected to emotional distress. It serves as a way for the mind to process pain, even if it ultimately creates more challenges in the long run. Here comes number 8. Comparison tactics. Narcissistic abuse can leave you feeling inadequate, especially when the abuser uses constant comparisons to undermine your self-esteem. Narcissists often diminish you by pointing out how others are supposedly better. They chip away at your confidence little by little. Over time, hearing that you're not good enough makes even basic acts of self-care, like brushing your hair, feel pointless. Why bother when you've been made to feel like you'll never measure up? Psychologist Dr. Ramani Durvasula explains that narcissists intentionally use comparison as a weapon to keep you feeling small and inferior. This relentless emotional wear and tear drain your energy and motivation. It makes tasks like grooming feel insignificant, and your hair might reflect the inner exhaustion you carry. Moving on to number 9. Sabotage. Narcissists often sabotage your self-care by making you feel guilty or ashamed for doing something positive for yourself. They might criticize you for trying to look good, or accuse you of being selfish for focusing on your own needs. Over time, these negative messages take root, and you begin to internalize the idea that self-care is unnecessary or even wrong. Psychologist Dr. Lisa Firestone explains that emotional abuse can distort your mindset. It makes you feel undeserving of basic acts of self-nurturing. This psychological manipulation often leads to neglecting even simple tasks, like brushing or washing your hair. It's not because you're lazy, but because the constant emotional attacks make self-care feel pointless. The abuser's influence undermines your ability to see your worth, leaving your appearance as another casualty of their control. Finally, we're down to number 10, breaking free from perfectionism. Narcissistic abuse can leave you trapped in the belief that you must always look flawless to be accepted. Narcissists drill into you that anything less is unacceptable, pushing you to chase impossible standards. This constant pressure can make you hyper-focused on your appearance, leaving no room for self-compassion. However, when you begin to break free from their control, you realize that messy, imperfect hair, or any imperfection, isn't a flaw, but a natural part of being human. Psychologist Dr. Kristin Neff emphasizes that accepting imperfection is crucial for mental well-being. Letting go of the need to be perfect allows you to embrace the beauty in life's natural messiness and, more importantly, to accept yourself as you are, flaws, flyaways, and all. In the end, messy hair is often more than just a style choice or a sign of being busy. It can reflect what someone is going through. For those who have faced the pain of narcissistic abuse, it can be a quiet reminder of their emotional battles and the toll that constant stress takes. It's easy to assume that messy hair just means someone doesn't care about their appearance, but the truth is, it might mean they're trying to survive. So the next time you see someone with messy hair, remember that there could be a deeper story behind it. A little empathy can go a long way in understanding what others might be dealing with.